Hey, Rise and Thrivers. Welcome to Monday, May 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And before we even begin, I want to share if you don't know by now, what Rise and Thrive Together is about. We are a vibrant community out to educate, empower, and equip you in having the results that you want through real talk, real actions, and real results. So, welcome to Rise and Thrive, episode number 53. And we're just going straight into it as I bring on my sister from another Mr. Raquel Stewart. Here we are, sis, episode 53. It's me and you. I feel like it's been a long time when it's just been me and you chit chatting and bringing it on. As we start this amazing month, really going full force into the Fun May challenge that we've had, random acts of kindness, created and thought by you, and I'm just so thrilled. I'm just so thrilled to have this conversation with you tonight.
Super excited. And for those that don't know, excuse me, what we're talking about with this random acts of kindness challenge, we're embarking on a random acts of kindness challenge for the month of May. And what we're asking our community to do, one, if you are not a part of our community, may I suggest that you join us. Go to our Facebook group. We're on Facebook. It's Rise and Thrive Together on Facebook. Join our community. And what we're doing for the month of May is just practicing random acts of kindness, whether that is with someone you know or someone you don't know. But just every day, do a random act of kindness, post about it in our group, and tell us how it made you feel. Now, I'm doing videos because writing is just too much for me. I do mine at night. Not that I do my act at night, but I just do my videos at night. And we have had an outpouring of people, of our community, people in our community doing random acts of kindness. And sometimes it's just something so simple. It doesn't have to be anything outlandish because it's about how it makes the other person feel. So we're asking you to join us in this challenge. And at the end of May, whoever has posted every day outside of myself and Reg, you will get your 15 minutes of fame, and we will have a wheel. We'll pick a winner because I think there's several people, right, sis, that have so far posted like 6 days since we're on the 6th of May already. And so by the end of the month, we'll pull all the names that have participated every day, spin the wheel, and that person gets to come on and chat it up with us. For 15 minutes live on air in person and tell their story. So we're super stoked, but it's more than that. It is just about loving on humanity. And that's why we're doing this. Okay. So again, join our Facebook group, Rise and Thrive Together. Join our challenge, follow us, and be a part of it. Even if you're starting from today, it's all good, right? We just want to practice random acts of kindness. It takes 30 days for a habit to develop, right? So you start doing it this month, there are actually 31 days, you get an extra day to be kind. And we're hoping it's something that you'll carry throughout your life, not just for this month. Okay? This month is super special. Tell them why, sis, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, absolutely. This goes with the random acts of kindness. The month of May started a while ago, if I, don't like quote me exactly, but it was in the 1940s here in the United States that they declared the month of May of mental health awareness. And so just to let you know, you can look up a lot of things, but the psychiatry.org and, the Mental Health Association has stated that like simple acts of kindness contributes to boosting our mood, right? Reducing stress and possibly even eliminating and alleviating symptoms of depression and anxiety. So, what might seem like a small gesture or kind gesture can make a greater impact than you can think. And so, I just think this is perfect. We'll go into this deeper. So, that's one of the things that we want to share with you. Mental health awareness is not just this month, but in general, as Rise and Thrive community, we are out to like really disrupt and like eradicate the stigma around mental health. And there is a lot that we still need to do around that. Here, there is the phone number if you need support 24/7. I looked up the new number, I think it's 988, which has changed since 2023.
Hmm.
And on May 8th, particularly, my sister shared with me that it's also Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. And that was really interesting because she said that to me as it's upcoming for Mother's Day, which is this Sunday. My mom passed away from ovarian cancer. And so we're just letting you guys know that it's important to get yourself screened and give you some stats. Between the ages of 30 and 35 is when your screening can begin, and you can speak to your GYN and OBGYN about that. And if it runs in your family, they're saying anywhere from 5 to 10 years earlier. And that screening's done with a blood test. So, as someone who, has a mom who passed away from ovarian cancer, but I was adopted, I have now, and I, did not do that. And now being proud to say 56, I have an upcoming appointment for my GYN in June. And so I'm going to ensure my regular test as always, and I'm going to get that blood test as well, since I don't have a background of what I know that is. And so that we just want to share that with you all, women out there who are, and men as well. It doesn't matter, it's ovarian cancer. Let's talk about taking care of you and getting your prostate checked as well. And, the earlier the better. And if you know that it runs in the family, that's what we're about. So that's what we are sharing with you today, and lots of resources, guys, just like the random acts of kindness. If you're unsure, like, oh, who do I do it with? There's tons of people that you might do it with in your life, where I'm too nervous about, doing something for, a stranger. Google. Google's brilliant. Ask Alexa, ask Siri, what is a way to do a random act of kindness? And so it's super fun. And it got me thinking. So, sis, I'm like, we're going to jump right into this. Here we are inside this whole conversation. What's been your experience? I've watched your videos, but for other people who are not in our private for Facebook community, it is Rise and Thrive Together community, different than Rise and Thrive Together. So it is community, and you can find it, but you'll have to like get accepted in. But I'm just wondering, how has this been for you? It kind of, seems like this is what we do, but I'm curious, like, how this has been for the past 6 days for you.
It's like last month, and it's like the month before that. This is nothing new for me. I am really big on getting involved in my community, and if I see someone that needs assistance, I'll ask if they need assistance. I'm not going to rush to just assist. I'm asking if they need assistance and doing things for folks. So really and truly, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but this is just how I live my life, right? I donate my time to an organization where I'm a volunteer. So there's always this practicing of these random acts of kindness. It's just a part of who I am. It's in my DNA. So this is not just a month of May thing. This is a life thing for me. And I'm hoping it's a life thing for most of us. And if it's something that you do periodically, maybe this challenge will help you to realize that it's not about you. It's about the person that you're doing it for. And I get how that sounds, but it really isn't about you. If you're going to do a kind act for someone, just do it. You never know how it'll make that person feel. And that's the truth. One lady that I don't know, we have the commonality that we have is we attend the same kickboxing studio, sis. And she posted in our group, hey, I have what's that? An Apple Watch that I'm giving away for free with four watch bands, the charger. And it's like, yeah, I'm interested because I knew my sister wanted one. And she said, I was gonna charge, but then I got a lot of weird people contacting me, and I decided that I wanted to just give it to someone. So what a blessing that was for myself as well as my sister, because she's about to graduate high school next month. So what a
Mhm.
blessing. And something so simple made a big difference in the life of someone. And how does that make you feel? Like, sis, how does it feel when you're doing your acts of kindness and not just for this month, but just overall?
Yeah, it's been like you said, it's what I got for myself is that it's a deeper connection. So I'm going to flip it to something that is like, of course, it's bigger than myself. And inside of mental health awareness and what I just talked about, why we put in, how does it make you feel? It really is, if you're not present to yourself and you're not being kind to yourself and doing self care to yourself, then how do you really know like anything else? It's been interesting. And you and I have talked about this. We're talking real talk, guys. So it's been interesting for me to say that people have been struggling, right? Struggling with not like struggling in the world of mental health, but struggling with, I don't know what to do. Because like we're not even connected to ourselves to say that every day I'm going to have challenge you to say, you probably are doing random acts of kindness and you don't even realize it. So it starts with you. Have you been kind to yourself? I'll share with you that many people, yesterday was the perfect day. It was Cinco de Mayo. And I came home at the end of the day after having a really fun family and friend day at a water park. And I love jumping onto our group and seeing what people are writing. And it all of a sudden, I have to prove everything to come in. And everybody was writing like, my random act of kindness was with myself.
Mm,
Today was this day of self care. Usually I'm doing the laundry. It was like super interesting laundry, but I chose something bigger than the to do list that we've talked about for a long time here. And I chose something for me that brings me joy, like
mm,
really joyful, right? So we've had other people talking about they've wanted this garden they've wanted for so long, and somebody did a random act of kindness and left them plants that they wanted, and they went and created that garden. And it was like so different than what? Doing your laundry, right? Like doing your laundry. So to go back to your question, very similar to you, what I got present to was the automatic that I do and like stepping back and going, oh, hold on for a second. Like how is that really making an impact out there and impact on me? So I got very present, very intentional, not about tooting my own horn, but like what I want to do, what I really want to make a difference to that person or to the planet. And so, in case you guys didn't know, at the water park, this is what happens all the time. My daughter, I have a 7.5-year-old daughter, has to use the bathroom, a public bathroom all the time. And so our whole thing is always open up the door, somebody doesn't flush, we move on. Open up the door, doesn't flush, ew, right? You get the point. It hit me yesterday thanks to this challenge. How many times have you just skipped that over, right? Like just skipped over because I'm rushing to get her to the bathroom. Yesterday it was, she moved on to the next one, and every single one, I flushed the toilet and I flushed the
mm,
toilet with my foot. Use my foot, right? They got the cool hand, scanner, and of course washed and did it out. But I like was like, wow, this is usually about my daughter and honestly about me. I want to rush in, rush out. I want to keep on going, do what I got to do. But this was about everybody else now. Like, how does everybody else feel when they walk in there?
mm.
You have some judgment, like, "Ugh, why can't people do that? Let's be real. Why are people disgusting?" And it was like that was gone. That was like, what can I do to make people feel like at home? And I mean, like at home, like clean and feel good, and so I did that and then cleaned up all of the places where you wash your hands with
Wow.
the little towel and did that. Now, funny joke, and this is the truth. I felt so good. And like one person was looking at me and was like, thank you. And kind of like the weird looks. But then I went home and I was like, oh, I got to do this random act of kindness to my own house.
Mm,
Like get into that at home more often. Like our bathrooms are clean, but like not like that, right? So we're practicing that more. They say clean space, right? Kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, clean, clear, fresh perspective mind, and you can bring in more of that joy get more of that kindness, get more of that making a difference. So thank you for asking that. And it was and it's been day 6. So I saw for myself, it's who I am, like you said, but I want to get present to like, oh yeah, that is who I am, and really get present to the more, what can I up more, like up more and up more, because it's super easy.
Mm,
It is. It's super easy. Like I just want to tell people, like, this is what you can do. This is what you can do. So Google it. Like go Google it. Don't make it hard because it really isn't. And please start with yourself. Please start with yourself.
absolutely. What I'd like to put out there to our listeners is if you are a part of our group, please type in the chat how it makes you feel. And if you've done anything, and if you haven't, you don't have to give specifics, just a quick, you know what, this is making me feel blah, 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 blah. And you said something interesting about, and what I got present to when you said your story about you cleaned the sink and you were flushing the toilets. And what it made me realize is that your identity impacts your behavior. So who you identify as is going to impact your behavior. Who I know Reg as is a resource connector. That's what she does. She connects people, and that shows in how she behaves. She's connecting to people that she doesn't even know in a public bathroom because she's cleaning it up. And I want to know how many of us think about who we are and how that impacts our behavior. Now, I'll be very honest with you. I never thought I was the person who would be interested in volunteering, right? I never thought about it. Just never crossed my mind. But within the last year to 2 years, it was like, I need to be doing more because of who I am and what I want to share with the world. I have to, wasn't an option. I have to do more. Of course, you don't have to, but for me, there is no option. I can't want to impact the world and people and help people to live the life that they want if I first don't know who I am and based on my identity, impact my behavior in order for me to impact the lives of others. And I know that was a lot of impacting and impacting and impacting, but it's simple. Your identity impacts how you behave. So, and I know I'm switching gears for a second here. So if your behavior, you question your behavior, take a step back and look at who you are and who you identify as. And I know not everyone is posting in the group, and it doesn't mean, or I'm not saying anything about you. Don't take it personal. Just hear what I'm saying. Some people find it difficult, sis, to do an act of kindness for someone else
Yep.
because of the judgment, or like how that lady looked at you like, what are you doing? And she pulled back. Why was it that she pulled back? Why is it that some of us have a difficult time just being kind, saying a kind word to someone else? Because some people really and truly do struggle with that. And I want to know your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. That's another part of, what you and I talked about offline, which was I called you and I was like, hey, it was really interesting as I was getting some personal texts or some personal, DMs, and I understand that. I understand that people, it's to get over your own fear of judgment. And you and I know this. We are here live often, and we've talked about imposter syndrome and all of that, right? So it takes something to be able to, and I hear this often in my mom's group, I don't post in the mom's group, or I'm going to go in anonymous because I don't want to get judged. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart about judgment, like that. But we're wired that way, guys. We're wired to judge. And this is why we have lots of people come on, and Raquel and I have, speak throughout this whole entire year and have, hosted other workshops so we can, kind of dive deep into that and peel that layer off and break that apart so that you can really get to know who you are. But there are so many other ways there's so many other ways, to do them. And that's why I was like having fun about Googling, because I'm excited to kind of share my next stuff for even myself. And, having my daughter, because we talk about it every day, and she's just like, oh, like, I don't know, 7.5. She's just like, but you could do this, or you could do that, or you could do this. Leave a note, leave a rock on the road, and maybe somebody will find it that says, blah, blah, blah. She's like, why can't we just like paint rocks that say love and just leave them all over the place? Because they did that. So they've had that as children, right? Colleen jumped in. Got to stop it. She goes, as Michelle Obama tells her daughters, we need to practice at who we want to be. Right? We need to who we want to be. So Colleen, that's awesome.
I
But
have a question for Colleen.
yeah,
What do you
please.
mean by practice? And where are we practicing this? And are we practicing it on someone or are we practicing alone? If you could just drop that in the chat, just so that I'm clear. Because I could
Yeah.
create a whole bunch of stuff around that. And I just need clarity on what you mean by practice.
Yep. And so Lexi, like we're saying, it's perfect. What she's saying is that, there are ways that they can do, to do that. So it kind of ties back into like when I hear Colleen write that, right? Like I see that for myself, what comes up for me is now, not like a someday, one day, or soon I'm going to be that way. But I'm, like you said, take a step back and go, who do I want to be? That means I'm looking at huh, like who am I? Like who am I? What do I love? What brings me joy? How can I be out there? Also, there's that other side. Like, who do I want to be? Like, is there something wrong with me? Right? Is there really something wrong with me? And that is, we've talked about this for years. Here's Colleen back, being in action of who we want to be.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, by being in action of who we want to be.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure that I understand what you mean by that. And being in action of who you want to be. So can I play devil's advocate? Who I want to be, but what about if I don't know who I am now?
Yep.
What do we do there? I had this conversation today with some of my students as we were covering a specific topic as to there are people who are just stuck and stagnant and they don't know who they are. They don't know who they want to be. They just are stuck. And sis, you mentioned people having this stigma. And here's the thing. Here's how I see it. If we get out of our head, even if it's just for a few minutes, it really and truly is not about us. When we talk about this, and let's bring it back, loop it back to the random acts of kindness. If we get out of our head and just think, how can I help someone else? How can I just bring a smile to someone's face? Even though you may not be smiling on the inside or the outside, but sometimes doing for others will give you a sense of fulfillment. And that's the other part of practicing this random acts of kindness. And that's why when we say it's not about you, but by helping others, you're helping you. Does that make sense? And what are
Susan
your
Schaefer
thoughts?
answered it for you. Susan Schaefer said, like you were just saying, sis, maybe not feeling happy on the outside or on the inside, but taking those actions can stretch you into maybe who you want to be. So when you're unsure, like, I don't know who I am, I don't even like feel like good about anything, but taking an action toward helping someone else, right? If it's that smile to them because I'm not smiling, that stretches you into like, I want that from my, someone else. So thank you, Susan. Like that stretches you into doing that. Now that's a lot to ask, guys. That's a lot, especially when we're talking about, Mental Health Awareness Month. It definitely takes something, but what we are is real action, right? Real talk and real results.
But
So,
sis, let me ask you, let me jump in. You said it takes a lot.
well, no, I said it takes something. It
What
takes
does it
some.
take? Here's the example. Here's how it is. I don't want to make it sound like I'm picking on the audience and there's never me. There are times I walk around and I don't have that cheery smile on my
Yep.
face. I really just don't. Not because anything major and catastrophic is going on. I just don't have that. But then someone smiles at me and it's like, okay, in the couple of seconds it takes for me to decide, do I want to smile back or do I want to keep this straight face that I have? And most times I smile back and I'm like, how are you? Okay,
Yep.
great. Thank you. Have a great day. And then it does something to me. It makes me feel like, okay, well, one, why did you have that face on? That me mug is what I call it. Me mugging. And it took nothing off of you to smile back, to reciprocate what that person was giving you. And then I find most times I go out of my way now and I find someone who isn't smiling. And I go and I'm like, hi, how are you? Have a great day. And I smile at them, even though a few minutes ago, that was me.
Yep.
Yeah. But it takes getting out of your own head. And like Susan said, and like I said, just get in action. That's all we're asking. We're not asking you to like save the world, put them on your shoulders and carry them. We're asking you to take action. And my question to the audience is, why would someone not want to take action to help someone else, which can in turn help them? So
Yep.
sis, I'll throw it to you. Otherwise, we go sit here waiting for somebody to type.
Yeah, no, we are ever evolving and ever changing beings. And sometimes the journey is to learn who you are. And then she writes hashtag, she's becoming that goddess in progress, right? Which I love. Yeah, we are. I love to say that we're like, light beings living this human being, like life. I know for myself that it's been a ever committed journey of growth and self-development. There's, as I'm looking at everything, and even like you're saying, yeah, we talk to each other a lot. Like I can call you one minute and be like, "Eh," right? And then the next minute that one word you say or something you say shifts that. Not someone who's like committed in practicing this work every single day. But there is this moment in time that, it's when somebody, when I was at my turning point of like blaming everybody and everything, that person stood for me and was able to be like in my face to say, hey, I have this opportunity. And I was like, kicking and, coming up with every excuse in the world. And it was just like, can you take like, you know, 2 hours out of your time? Now, I'm a social worker at the time, right? At my highest point of my career, to be able to make a difference for everybody else. And then that person saw something where it was like, but you're pleading, and do you know who you really are? So it's a very interesting, what I like to say, dance. This dance, it goes back and forth. I'm really great at helping others for a really long time. And then it took some time for somebody else to do that random act of kindness. Whoop, she got kicked off, to bring that to me, to say, you are great for others, but behind the scenes, you're hiding that mask. So I just want to be able to share with you all that I get it. It may not be that simple. And at the end of the day, it's why we created Rise and Thrive Together community. Because my belief system is that it takes a village. And the village starts with one person. And so this whole entire time that why I've so am committed to having, our community is that one person can make the biggest difference. One person can make that difference and that change in somebody's life. You're back on, Raquel. Welcome back. She's looking up, but I think she's frozen again. And are you back, sis? She's in and out. Not really sure if she's on, off, but she looks like she's frozen. And we got some unstable networking. So that's where that's at on this conversation with regards to, hey guys, if you're stuck, we understand. And we're asking you to take an action. And in the month of mental health awareness, please reach out to someone. And you're here in this community watching this, or maybe somebody shared this with you. You can direct message myself. You can direct message Raquel, info at Rise and Thrive Together. And we're here to have a free conversation with you. And of course, like she says, I'm a connector. I'm out to connect you with the resources that feels good for you and safe and sound. All right, guys, please continue to join in on the random act of kindness. Start with yourself and then take a random act of kindness out there for someone else or something in your neighborhood, something that can just bring a difference in your neighborhood for the planet. And remember, together we can rise and thrive. Till next time, we look forward to seeing you next week.